Here we are, buddy.
We're crusty now.
Crusty.
We're crusty.
Dude, for real.
Dude, we're in our 50s. It's fucking weird. Just like you snap your finger and you're in your 50s.
Mid
50s, yeah.
Mid. Dude, you're like you say it, but we are it.
We are it. Isn't that wild?
What do
Because I remember you remember me. You know, Scream, Biodome, that whole like 10-year, 5-year run, whatever it was, 10-year run that we had. When did your run start in Malibu?
90. Scream was 96. So I'd say 95.
Dude, you fucking. But we've done so much stuff together.
A lot.
I start thinking about it like we did your hidden camera show.
Yeah.
Which was huge.
Yeah, thank you.
Which was fucking huge. That was before Punked, right? Or around Punked?
Right before.
Right,
and then Punk kind of borrowed it.
Yeah, they borrowed it. But yeah, so we did, you know, you've been doing it, we've been doing it, we're still alive. I had a tumor, dude. Did you know about that? I didn't even know about that.
No.
Yeah, I had a tumor.
What happened?
I just did a preventative scan, you know?
That what's
where
that
you just
company?
go in a tube, you know, you go in a tube.
I want to do that.
Yeah, where you go in a tube, you know, where you just lie there like Tinta Common.
Yeah.
What is it? His name's Dan?
It's Kyle.
Kyle, sorry, close.
What is it? Tin Tut.
Kyle. You've seen it where you go in the Chinese where you go
Kyle. King Tut Tikaninga. He's got a weird name. Tintakunum.
Yeah, so I did a preventative scan. They found a tumor. It was benign, which I'm fucking lucky, dude. Because I didn't know, like, when they said it was benign, I didn't know what benign meant. Because to me, benign seems like you're going to die. Like, malignant seems like you're not going to die. If you just heard the words. If you heard the word malignant versus benign.
Benign?
Benign.
Sounds German.
Yeah. It's
benign.
I'm going to kill you dying.
Dying.
So anyways, so
That's
yeah,
good.
so
Sounds
they
like
found that
beignet.
shit, dude. You gotta.
So wait, I'm gonna do that.
I didn't
The
have any
tube.
symptoms. Yeah,
I gotta get in a tube.
yeah. A lot of people want to get it, but a lot of people can't afford it.
I know what it's called. It's called Pruvomed or something.
Yeah, something like that. They found it, so yeah. So then they got rid of it. So, but it was you know, just fucking gnarly, you know, to figure that out, you know.
Have you ever had anything like that? Really? So it was benign, though. You're fine. Where they cut it
I'm
out?
lucky, yeah. They
Yeah,
cut it out. I
knock
got
on wood.
Yeah, knock on my wood, bro. Come on,
Knock
touch
on
my
that.
wood, bro.
Knock on
Kyle, it's benign.
Benign.
Benign, Kyle, benign.
See, you can't do that anymore.
Can't do.
You can't rub your boy
Dude,
pussy.
I see you on Fox News all the time. It's hilarious.
You like it?
So, I mean, it's great. You're
Thank
really
you.
great. I didn't know you were so smart.
Thank you, buddy.
But it's you just lost your whole liberal audience. There's no way you're getting back into Hollywood, dude.
Wow, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what?
You're losing them right now.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
sitting
Just
next to me.
No,
Come
but
on.
isn't that wild?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Benign.
I work
Kyle's benign.
Dude, if I go to the show, what's our great guy who books your show? Greg.
Oh, Greg, yeah.
Greg is the most, I talk about him. He is the most inclusive booker of all time.
Yes.
Don't you think everyone of different types is on his shows?
Mm-hmm.
So we still do all shows together. Why would I be kicked out?
Well, I'm not talking about the store, and I'm not talking about comedy shows. I'm talking about, like, getting back in the entertainment business.
I'm in.
You know what I mean? Yeah, independently. But I'm talking...
Yo, only he can say that, and it means something.
Yeah, but
everyone else doesn't know what that means. But that's truthful.
But it's sad. It's sad if you just... Because I remember when I watched Fox News, okay? When I watched, like, the morning news, Fox and Friends. Like, for years, I used to go on that show every year or 2 years that I had.
You did.
Yeah, you did too.
Promoting stuff, yeah.
Yeah, just promoting. Like, but it was never like, oh, you're on Fox and oh, you're on CNN. Now it fucking sucks. It's like you can't do one or the other, and it's fucking stupid. You should be able to do anything.
But don't you think it's more open-minded now, and we're coming back?
I'm not saying that it's not that. I'm just saying that, unfortunately,
You're
because
so right.
because of the way it is. Like, if you're sitting on Gutfeld. You know, you sit on Gutfeld, right?
I love it.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the man, and you would do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do it.
Come on.
I don't know.
He's
I don't know.
hilarious.
I know, but I'm gay, so.
No, when did that
Yeah,
happen?
I like penises.
That's
That's
fake.
not penises.
That's fake.
I fake.
Did you get bored?
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm not gay.
I didn't think so.
I did have one gay experience.
No,
though.
you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you
I
did
did,
not.
I swear to
no,
God.
you did not.
Yeah, Kyle, you remember right last week when we were fucking at the sauna?
Wait,
Right?
was it a peekaboo by accident?
Yeah, it was kind of an accident.
So it was like there was up
well, what
top.
happened was it was 1996.
That's early, dude.
Yeah,
you were
1996. Yeah, it was.
You went early before it all blew up.
Yeah, it was 1996, and I was doing Nash Bridges. Remember that show, Nash Bridges?
Yeah.
You probably did guest starring on that
Never.
with Don Johnson.
I loved it though.
It was Don Johnson, yeah. And I was in San Francisco, and I told the concierge at the hotel, I said, I need a massage. So when I came back from working with Don Johnson and doing the show with Cheech, remember?
Yeah.
Cheech Marin, he was his partner on it.
Yeah.
And there was a little gay Asian man in my room with his table.
Yes.
And I didn't think he was going to try to jerk me off.
Yes.
Like, I didn't think, like, oh, he's going to, it was professional massage.
Yes.
So, I mean, you don't think that just because
No.
he's gay. It's like, I'm not going, oh, he's like, because
No.
he's like, hello, Mr. Shore, I'm here to take care of you. You know what I mean? So he starts massaging me, and I
Yeah.
pass out. I wake
you
up.
pass out.
Yeah, I flip over, I pass out, and I wake up, and my dick is in his hand.
No.
And he looks at me and asks me, is it okay if I jerk you off?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He did.
No, he didn't.
He did.
So you woke up and he asked for consent. You didn't wake up
Yes.
and Mr. Winky already let all the juice
No,
out.
no.
Okay, so it's
He
in
was
his
cool, yeah.
He was in his palm, and then you said you looked at him, and then you went, finish the job.
Yeah, finish it. It's
Okay.
fine. And plus, I looked to see if anyone was watching. There's no one in there, and I was just like, all right, let's go.
Did he?
So he did it, yeah. But he was cool. Like that. The thing is, I think up there in San Francisco, if you get a massage, I think that's part of it. I don't think they think that it's not part of it. Like that's just another muscle.
So it's done. It was it,
That was it.
and that was your one time.
Yeah.
You never told anyone.
I told you right now.
Yeah. Now that's an exclusive. Wow.
So this is why they won't allow me on Fox. So God, back to CNN.
No, I think the business though is opening back up.
Okay, if that's what you say.
I mean, it's crazy the last few years.
So dumb.
You agree, right?
Yeah, it's
because
stupid. Because
you,
we all used to do all the channels. It wasn't a big deal.
and when
It wasn't like their side and our side or this side or that side.
no, and you were on set. Did you know anyone's politics?
No,
Did you know anyone's gender?
no,
Did you care?
no,
Exactly.
no,
And everyone, I think comedy is the most inclusive art. Don't you think?
no.
Like,
But you're great on it.
oh, thank
No,
you.
you're
buddy.
really, really good. How'd you get so smart?
I don't know.
Or are you just faking it? Go on.
You know what I love? Post-tumor, Pauly,
Yeah,
you're talking more.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you're
maybe it
more
was
chill.
yeah. It was stuck inside of me.
But I think like
I
you're
brought
more.
the tumor with me. It's in the other room.
Thank
You want to see it? It's in a jar.
Buster.
Buster. Kyle, bring me the benign tumor in the jar with my whatever.
Wait, so you did this bit one of the first times I ever saw you, dude, and it lives rent free in my head. And you talked about this is when I was first like hanging around Potluck. I want to say like '92, and I think it was right when your album came out. Maybe your album came out
yeah,
'91.
Yeah.
In the Billboard,
Yeah.
and you walked in. You were a surprise guest in OR, and you did this whole joke about how everyone gives up their whole life to come and try to do this. And really, they come to this place and they want their dreams to come true at the store. And for you, you went down and you go in your living room and there's.
That's a funny.
Oh
thing.
God, it's so funny. You're like there was scrambled eggs and bacon, and Jorge was giving you some coffee, and you were like, "Mom, I think maybe I want to try comedy." And you're like, "Pauly,
She's like, okay.
main room tonight."
Yeah,
Like it was like your
yeah.
first. It was so brilliant. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do it because it's your
yeah.
bit, but. Dude, I cried laughing, even though I was struggling. I just thought that was such a beautiful take. And how true is that? I mean, because you did have to go through it, even though you had.
I still feel it. You know what I mean? I still, even though I had made it, and even though I have my own following, and even though I have I won't say I made it, but I punctured.
100%. You've made it. You know why?
Yeah.
You're a thing.
Okay.
You are a thing. Pauly Shore is a thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
You're a known entity. You know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Pauly Shore.
Yeah. I mean, when I walk around, you walk around. You
Yeah.
go to airports. Everyone
Yeah.
seems to like say hi.
Yeah, what's up? Jamie Canny, Pauly Shore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider.
That's cool.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
you're
we're
a
lucky.
thing. You're a
Yeah.
thing, dude.
Okay. I'm a thing. I'm a thing. I'm a thing.
Stop putting that up.
What? Oh, yeah. Can't do that.
So, but you did this, and it was so funny. And I'm just like, I know a little of your story. You grew up, you're a Beverly Hills kid.
Yeah. West Hollywood, Beverly Hills. Yeah.
Your whole life.
My whole life. Yeah.
I mean, this is like that's why I love it here. I'll never leave. But
Yeah.
this is literally your neighborhood.
Yes.
And you grew up, you went to West Beverly or Beverly Hills?
I went to Beverly Hills High School. But back to your first question, which was just being Mitzi Shore's son and that whole thing and the pressure, that put on me. I mean, look at, fuck, I don't want to mention what happened recently. You can mention that.
What happened? Which one?
I mean, come on, dude. I'm not going to say anything. With the whole...
Who happened what?
The Rob thing.
Which Rob?
His initials are RR. And he just passed away.
Oh, God. Oh, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But being Mitzi Shore's son, you know what I mean? And having that pressure of, when I said, oh, I want to do stand-up comedy, like, oh, great, here's Mitzi's son.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I still kind of feel it when I'm at the store, not so much when I'm on the road, because they don't care on the road. It's just my audience.
Mm-hmm.
But at the store, I have to be, even Dave Rass said this. He goes, like, you got to be, like, not only funny, you got to be funnier than everyone, because it's like, oh, he's still on that stage. Oh, he's killing, so it's okay. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's like Drake.
So, what happens with Drake?
Drake is an insanely talented rapper, but he had to go extra because he was an actor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's sick. I mean, I think Drake's one of the best. And but he had to go extra because he's only half black. He's Jewish, so they didn't know he was gangster enough.
But it put a lot of pressure on me, and good and bad, and I think, like, for me and my career, I think about it a lot. You think about your career. We all think about choices, that we made and things that we did, good or bad. And I think, like, if I were to tell the younger Pauly, you always hear those questions. If I were to tell the young, what would you say to him? And I would say, slow the fuck down.
Really?
Slow the fuck down and not try to rush. Because I did that when I was younger. When I was younger, I wanted to make it. And a lot of it was, pressure from being Mitzi's kid, because I didn't want to embarrass her.
But you were young, dude. You were like the first MTV person I saw break out was Adam Sandler on Remote Control, and Kari Werner and Ken Ober was the star.
Yeah.
And then I want to say I saw Jay Moore. I think he did another show, and then it was you. So you started when you were, what, 20?
Yeah, 20, 21, 20.
You got the job kind of out of high school, not that far out?
Kind of, yeah.
After just an audition, and you weren't acting that long.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, so you were off to the races.
I was. But that being said,
people know, I want you to know, Sunset Strip. No, let me give you some flowers. I want to say 1991, #1 show on MTV, huge billboard for his first album on Sunset by, like, the Radisson that hotel, the Andaz or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you were like an Encino Man, all in like the same year.
And HBO and
and
all that stuff.
I mean, that's insane. Dude.
Yeah, it was.
You were. It's like so.
But what I was saying is that I hit a fork. I hit a fork in my road in my career, because before MTV, I was acting a lot. 21 Jump Street.
Yes.
I did a guest lead on that with Johnny Depp. I did Married with Children. I did a guest lead on that. I did a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, or not a movie. I did it was a pilot with Leonardo DiCaprio called Parenthood.
You were in Parenthood?
Yeah, I was in Parenthood.
What role?
I played the Keanu Reeves role.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you, Joaquin.
Yeah. And
Joaquin was in the movie.
No, it was David Arquette.
David, you.
Yeah. But I had got
Leo.
Yeah, but I had gotten fired from the role, and then David got my role.
David did?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Why? Dude,
don't
this is
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, Parenthood was a very big film.
Huge. Joaquin.
Huge film.
Keanu.
And Keanu Reeves and Steve Martin and all these guys. It was like a very big, and so NBC spun it into a sitcom.
No, it was Fox. Fox first, and then NBC did it later.
Okay, so whoever it was, and then I got the Keanu Reeves
Jay
role.
Ferguson?
And I think it was Brian Grazer.
No, but you know Jay, the actor?
Yeah.
I think he was in. Anyway, I remember this was a huge pilot.
Yeah. So I got the role, and I met Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was 14, and we became friendly, and that was cool. Obviously, he became who he became, and that was a really fun time. But I got fired. I got fired.
Why?
I don't remember. I guess they didn't think I was right, or I don't know.
So
Sometimes you get fired off of shit.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And then David became your role.
Yeah, and David Arquette took my role, yeah. But so what I was saying is that I did a movie with Adam Horowitz called Lost Angels.
You were in that?
Yeah, I had a small part in that. Yeah.
These are great movies and credits.
I did a movie called Phantom of the Mall, which was one of my first films for Freeze Entertainment.
I remember this movie. Who starred in it?
It was Kimber Sissons and Eric. Fuck, I forgot his last name. I forgot. Just some other actors. I forgot. It was like an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a movie called Wedding Band, which was with IRS Films. I did a lot of acting, but the point that I'm making is that I was acting a lot, and then MTV came around, and then I went right. I'm going left with the acting stuff. And then MTV came and kind of took me to this other place. And then from there, that did what it did. And then from there, all the movies happened. But part of me thinks that wasn't the right move. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like, again, looking back on some of these big milestones in my career, like how am I not, working as much as I would like to be as far as acting, because I miss acting. You miss acting, I'm sure. You act in some stuff, but the phone's not ringing for us. At least it isn't for me. It's not, because also for me, I really put myself in a place that, like Pee Wee Herman, where it's like very, it's like everyone knows that, like, my agent will be like, oh, like he tried to get me with managers, like bigger managers, and they all passed.
Mm-hmm.
They all passed. Not because they didn't like me, but because they didn't want to work, and they didn't want to. And they all saw the vision. They say like, "Oh, yeah, he's just one role away, the Richard Simmons thing, or this thing, or that thing." But we don't want to do the work because Pauly has put himself in a place that is just this one note and this one thing, and it's good and bad. It's good because it helps me sell tickets. But it's also bad because, I can't act, which is what I really miss, because I miss acting. I really miss acting,
If you could do it again, what would you do?
I probably wouldn't do the MTV thing. I would have stayed on the acting thing. And who knows? It could have been Tom Hanks. It could have been Robin Williams. It could have been all these things, all that stuff. I wouldn't have done In the Army Now.
Wow.
Yeah. In the Army Now was the first movie that took the career into a place of like that. Like, we had Encino Man, we had Son-in-Law, these hits, and then New Line came to the table and they said, we want to do a movie called Totally London, where I play an au pair in London. And I was in a deal with Katzenberg over at Disney, and we couldn't get out of that deal. So Katzenberg's like, well, let's just do the Army movie. And the Army script was good, but it wasn't as good as the London movie, So my manager Michael Rotenberg and Adam Bennett, that was at CAA, were like, you can't do the Army movie because the script isn't as good as Son-in-Law, it's not up there. The director, the whole thing, you should do this London movie. But Jeffrey Katzenberg, I don't know if you know Jeffrey.
Of course.
Yeah, Jeffrey Katzenberg, the biggest executive in the world.
Yeah.
He's like dangling, going, no, dude, we're going to make this good for you. This is going to be good. And I should have listened to my manager and agent and sided with them and say they got me back. But I wanted to work. And then in my eyes, I'm like, you know what? This can't be that bad because I'm a comedian. I can make this good. the army movie, because you don't go into you never go into a movie thinking that it's going to be bad.
No.
You go into it like, I'm going to do the best that I can and put my heart into it.
1000%.
Even when I did Jury Duty, which didn't do well, but it didn't do well, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie. But I was also like, people, the critics hated me so much, so it was very personal. Very personal. Like, they're like, whatever Pauly Shore did, like, fuck him, was kind of like the critics. Because of my style was so goofy and fun and silly. You know what I mean? All that shit. And they didn't find it appealing.
But it was you. It was unique.
Yeah, well, they didn't see that, so it was what it was, yeah.
But, that
happy.
happened to Jim Carrey, and then he became a legend from it. So you were doing your own version. You know what I'm saying? Wait, I want to go back, though, because you said so much there.
It's like my therapist here.
This is good.
Yeah, Kyle, how are we doing?
It's great.
Do you like us? Did you press record? Because last time we did the thing, that's why I'm coming back for the second interview. Dude, seriously, dude, we did this last time. He fucking didn't press the record button.
He stopped recording after the gay massage. Okay. Listen, and it was in his hand. Listen, go slow. How did you start acting? Because you're not a nepo baby in acting.
Yeah. No, it's Donovan Leitch.
For real?
Yeah.
Who's Donovan? Leitch is the son of who?
Donovan,
the singer.
So there's a nepo.
And
somewhere.
So you were boys with him.
Yeah.
I remember him. He was big.
Yeah.
And then.
And he got an audition for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And he brought you?
Yeah, he brought me in to play Bill or Ted or one of those guys.
And then from there,
we got all the way to the end. So it's me, Josh Richmond. It was Keanu. It was fucking
the crew. Josh Richmond, shout out.
Yeah. Josh, what's up?
What
Love
up,
you,
doggy?
Bro. Yeah.
Wow.
And we got to the end, and we all got mixed and matched. I read with Alex, Dono read with Keanu, and it was hot. I was hot. It was like, holy shit. And this was,
So this is one of your first. This was your first thing?
Audition ever. Yeah, first audition ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that's what happened. So
then
Barbara Binstein, who was Donovan's manager, asked to represent me. So I was like, all right, let's go. So then she started getting me all these roles.
So you wanted to act before, or you just...
Yeah.
Okay.
I just loved,
So you wanted to act, but you grew up, you weren't doing plays and shit, were you? Or maybe?
No, I never done a play.
Me neither. So, okay, so you're acting and you're serious, because you said so much, dude. I could see the pain in your eyes. I can see the pain in your eyes, but I have this comment, but there's like 6 ways I have to do this, so...
I can step out.
No, because I don't want to lose.
Dog for a bite.
I don't want to
make some notes. Kyle,
I don't want to lose
back.
track here.
We can stop and then come back, and you can go down the list.
No, because how did the MTV thing come about? Because you're acting, and you're into acting, and you're into respect. What I'm sensing from you is that what you did, even though you became a thing, you didn't get the respect you feel you deserve, and that hurts.
Yeah,
you get respect in comedy.
Yeah, the thing was.
By the way, the side note, I don't want to take you off. I thought everyone hung in their groups, like serious actors, only serious actors, comedy with comedy, and I learned all that wasn't true when I went to the Playboy Mansion, and that's another story, as you know, because everyone went there. Said there was no.
Well, it was a place of freedom, and it was a place that everyone can be themselves.
100%.
And it was a place there was no cameras. Cameras weren't allowed, and you could just have a good time.
Yeah.
And have some drinks, and have some food, and dance, meet some girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Kiss, have swing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And so I feel that you're saying you were doing this. How did the MTV thing come along?
Terry Danizer, who was my manager at the time. Wait. Fuck, was it Terry? Yeah, Drew Wilson. She was the head of talent at MTV. She was kind of like Jim McCauley for the Tonight Show.
Yep.
She was from South Africa, and she saw me. I got a showcase through Terry Danizer, who was my manager. And he was with a company with Jonathan Crane, I think. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember him. Yeah, big.
And it was just a Monday night at the store, and I went on, and I fucking killed. I just killed in front of her, and she basically said, "Hey, lovey, you want to come?" It's like, "Do you want to come to spring break?" And so she flew me to spring break, and I roomed with Christian Slater. Yeah.
Why? Who's he doing? Promoting
He was
something?
promoting Gleaming the Cube.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, these are good memories right
Yeah.
here. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was promoting Gleaming the Cube. So back then, MTV would pair you. You know, if we went down, we'd be roommates.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get your own room. They were
Yeah.
cheap, and that was just the way it was. And then I went down there.
Had a great time.
It wasn't a great time. I was nervous.
Okay.
Because it was live.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Corey Feldman was like the #1 guy there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was promoting
License to Drive.
License to Drive,
Yeah.
or something like that. And all the actors were there. Amy Dolenz was there. Who else?
Mickey Dolenz' daughter from the Monkees.
Yeah, she was there. And then Christian Slater was there, and I was just like, I didn't really know where to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I went on. I did was it Top 20 Video Countdown with Downtown Julie Brown, and it didn't go good. Yeah, I was nervous. I fucked up. I don't know. It just wasn't great.
Did it live at Spring Break.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then basically they kind of pushed me away. It was like this. Yeah, like Joel Gallen and Doug Herzog were like, eh.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Heads of MTV.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
And
20?
Yeah, 20,
Okay.
21, yeah.
All right.
And then from there, I went back to LA and I started developing my stuff. I started developing my stand-up.
Okay.
You know, and I got really good.
Okay.
I mean, I fucking got a really good, like, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Like, really good. And then I did a show called Comic Strip Live.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I think it was at the factory.
It was at the factory.
Okay.
And Rick Messina got me on that.
Bitch Paint My House. That's what Chris Rock's joke. That's the first time I ever saw him. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
With the hooker.
Yeah.
Bitch Paint My House.
Bitch
Okay.
Paint My House.
So.
Yeah, so Rick Messina, I did really well
And
there,
the Weasel.
and we took that tape, and then we sent it to MTV.
Back to them.
Back to them.
Even though
And
you
this
were
was when I was
acting.
with Rotenberg.
Okay.
Then I moved to Rotenberg there at that time.
So you wanted to go back to MTV.
Yeah, because it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool. But I didn't know it was going to blow up. I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to get a show on MTV. It was like I just wanted to guest VJ and do stuff like that. And then we sent that tape to MTV, and they said, "Oh wow, he's come a long way. That's been like about 2 years since the spring break that he fucked up." And and then they had me host a show called Five Funny Guys, and it was at Pepperdine University. It was a special, and it was like half-hour comedy hour with Mario Joyner.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember that.
Yeah, but I was to host it. But they said to me, which was fucking hilarious, they said, we're gonna let you host the show, but your part's not gonna air.
What? It's basically shitting in your face.
Pretty much.
They basically said, we're going to do it, but what do you do? So you're just like warm up off camera?
No, they said they would tape it, and I can keep the tape and show my friends.
But they didn't want you. Why? Because they were hating.
Because they didn't think I was going to pull it off.
Okay, so?
So that night, I was better than all the other comics.
In between.
Yeah.
Setting them up.
Yeah, setting them
Any
up.
comics we know on there at that time?
I think Anthony Clark.
Huge. Hilarious.
Fuck. Who else was it?
So it was basically like Premium Blend.
Yeah.
And you were the host.
I was the host.
And bring up comics. You
Yeah.
killed it. What happened?
And they said, fuck those Five Funny Guys. He goes, this is our guy.
To do a show.
Just to, start doing late night guest VJ spots.
Okay.
So every time I went into New York, they all, Michael Rotenberg would say, "Hey, Pauly's in New York. He's doing a show. Can he guest VJ?" So I started guest VJing, and they'd put me at like 3 a.m, and that was kind of like my spot. And then I just started fucking doing my thing, and it was fun. And at this point, my stand-up was really getting developed, and I was being goofy. And then from there, we did these vignettes called Totally MTV, where I play a gangster, real estate agent, kind of like Randy the Redwoods, that type of vibe. And those started airing, and those did really well. And then after that, that's when they offered me Totally Pauly, yeah.
I want to say this was late 80s.
No.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Totally Pauly started what year?
1990.
1990.
So yeah, it was like late 80s.
You were
yeah.
doing stuff before 90.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And then the MTV thing just kind of like slowly just kind of, took off.
How long was the show? 3 years?
6 years, yeah.
90 to 96?
Yeah. What was funny, I did it, it was called Totally Pauly from like 90 to 94. And then I was starting to star in movies. And then I said, let's change the name to Totally Different Pauly, just to switch it up, but yet do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how fucked up my mind was. I'm like, it's totally different, Pauly. Like, it's the same thing. So we changed that, which was kind of just fucking with people. You know what I mean?
But wait, so you know that if you have a hit movie, I have so much to say because I know stuff about you. If you have a hit movie, you can do a dramatic turn because the town will give you the shot. So you're doing Totally Pauly. Obviously, you became you, so you felt like it put you in the corner. Which they did do that back then. I do feel that people can do more now and get away with shit. Like they'll hire an influencer. The whole business has changed.
No, I get it. I'm not. Yeah.
And you like when you do a hit. If you did a movie that made, well, you did. There are moves to be made, and there are still moves to be made because you have two people from your last movie. That has to be encouraging. That both have Oscars. When you see that gets you hype.
Yeah. I just here's the bottom line, Jamie. I just love acting.
You really do.
I love acting more than
comedy.
Way more than comedy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever said that? I've never heard you say that.
I've said it here and there.
So wow. So why don't you do it?
It's more meticulous. It's a lot harder. Well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of layers to it.
But so's comedy.
Comedy's hard, but it's you know, I mean, you can fuck around a lot on stage and kind of. You know
yes.
what I mean? Yeah.
So, do you want to go hard at it?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do.
I want to. I want to get this Richard Simmons thing going this year.
How is that going?
It's going good. I did a short film that did well, and we have a great script from a writer named Jordan Allen Dutton. We have a great producer attached to it, so we're just waiting right now. So we're waiting, yeah.
Okay, so I heard this. Was there a time that there was a movie where you were going to be a cop with Ice Cube, and you were going to go to high school? And I heard that was a great action script.
It was more like the Defiant Ones.
Yes.
It was more like that. Yeah, so it was me and Ice Cube being handcuffed together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And what happened?
It was on the shelf at Disney, and they just kind of shelved it. You know, it was when I had that deal at Disney, because that's where my deal was when I had all my movies, and they just didn't do it.
Is there a role that you think you turned down? You said could have changed your career?
Yeah, fucking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, bro.
Turned it down?
Yeah, dude.
Turned it down?
Dude, you remember? I mean, you go to the Comic-Cons with me.
Yeah.
We sit there, and who's fucking Shaggy?
Oh, Matt.
Yeah, and what do we say? What the fuck happened?
He's got the longest lines in the history of lines.
Yeah, because it's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
But did you go up for that role?
No, I'm just kidding. Kyle, it's a benign tumor. It's benign.
Wait, so I didn't know that you really loved acting this much.
Yeah.
You got to do an indie.
That's what I want to do.
But the turn is there because you know it's a feel-good story.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like do you have an agent now?
I do, and it's frustrating because
good?
he's fine.
Agents
he's great. He's good. His name's John. He's trying. He works with Patrick Renna. You know Patrick, who's great,
Of course,
and a couple of good actors. So he's trying, but he's got that barrier, that Pauly Shore barrier, that that I carry. But everyone says the same thing. Like it just takes that one role. It takes that one. See, I think it's really about a director. I don't think it's about a producer. I mean, look what happened with Simon. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Incredible.
Dude.
Our hero.
Hilarious.
Dude, incredible.
I mean,
we're talking about Simon Rex. I mean, he is now like the most serious actor.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's the man.
But that's just one director. That's called his name's Sean Baker.
Yeah.
And that's it. So to me, and Tarantino did it a long time ago with Travolta, with Pulp Fiction. So to me, I think it's God. I think it's Kismet. I think at right place at the right time. I don't think I know it's going to happen. I already know because it's in me and I have the drive, and someone's going to give me a role and I'll be able to do what I need to do to handle it. Yeah.
So in another world, would you do less comedy?
Yeah.
And now you would just do more acting?
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I've been on Rogan before and I talk about being sad, You know what I mean? And he says wait, what was it? It was see, for a long part of my life and my career, I was always on a movie set. You know what I mean? It's always like going to the movie set. And for this part of my career, I'm not. And that was like the funnest time of my life, was just getting up at 5 and going to the set and going to makeup and hair and doing the sides and going to the thing and doing a run through, a blocking, and then go back to your trailer and they're like, all right, we're ready. And just fucking rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? And just that whole process is just fun. You know, Son-in-Law was such a fun movie for me. You know what I mean? Working with really good actors, a really good script, a really good director, and everyone is on the same page to just try to make something really awesome. And I love that, you know, and it's just, I think it's hard, and I like challenges, you know? So we'll see.
One of the nicest things you ever did is when Scream 2 opened. Do you remember what you did? Can I tell the story?
Yeah.
So Pauly lives and lived in a street, which his house was this way. He had a shared road with Wes Craven. And so when Scream 2 opened to $38.7 million, which was like the biggest
huge
horror movie opening of all time, Wes came home and there was a huge banner over the driveway.
Yeah.
And it said, "Congratulations on the #1. You deserve it. And this business, how tough it is. Congratulations, King."
Yeah.
Dude, that was like this. To this day, I think about that. Wes absolutely loved that.
Wow.
And you put that on the driveway.
I put it in balloons.
In balloons,
huge.
Yes.
I like hired a company to come in there.
It's
and
unbelievably
me
beautiful.
and my friend put it together. Yeah.
Dude, it was beautiful.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. And
he loved it.
Oh, cool.
He talked about it.
Really?
Yes. And
wow.
you talked about it. Yes, he talked about it. He was like, Pauly was the sweetest guy. He was my best neighbor. He was just so sweet. This huge balloons. He took pictures of it.
Yeah.
Because you know.
It's hard, yeah. And especially back in the day when there was no internet and there was no, like, you know, streaming and all that stuff. Everyone lived and died by the box office. You know what I mean? I mean, it was like, and you would know if your movie did well by Friday or Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, because you would have the numbers for Friday, and you knew Saturday would be way more, and you knew Sunday would drop a little, but then they would add it up. Oh, it's going to make, you know, this amount of money. And that's a great thing, yeah.
Nothing worse. You put a year of your life into something, and it comes out, and you wake up, and by noon, your agent's telling you it bombed. Like, or when you have a hit. You know it's going to be a hit. You can feel it, but, like, it's the worst feeling. Like that Friday, if it doesn't work.
I've had that happen, yeah.
But it's also not fair because, like, how much did In the Army cost? $6 million?
No, like 12 or something.
Okay, but I believe it probably kind of made its money back.
Yeah, no, it's done well. It's done well, but the box office did okay.
But here's the thing. You are a proven business entity. And yet, if the town doesn't root for you, it's bullshit. Because there are people, you know. How do you feel when you see somebody have bomb after bomb after bomb and they still got shots?
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, what the? It's not fair.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is kismet, timing, karma, meeting the right person at the right time.
It is, but there's also a work.
Yeah.
Like, if your movie made enough money, they should give you the shot. Here's another example. Chris Kattan, his movie came out. It was a movie. I don't know what the hell was the movie. It wasn't the one where he was the Roxbury. It was his solo movie, and I believe he was the detective. And it opened to 11 million. And the town said, "Oh, it costs like 10 million." They go, "Oh, didn't work." It made its budget back in the first weekend. So sometimes the town, you know this, they're rude. They want, Travolta said it best. He goes, "You have to make movies for the people that hire you for movies." He said that.
Say that again?
You got to make movies. The people that make movies have to like the movies that you make.
Yeah.
The decision makers.
Yeah.
Because you didn't really lose money Biodome.
No.
A sneaky hit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, if you did the numbers, I think for all my movies, I think that it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like all of a sudden you fall out of favor, not because of the box office, because the critics gang up.
But it is what it is. I've definitely moved forward from it, and I don't beat myself up about it.
You shouldn't.
I just kind of accept it and just kind of move forward from it, and count my blessings. Yeah.
Dude, you're one move away.
Life is about, ups and downs and sides and this and that, and even the holidays, everything personally, professionally, all that shit. It's all up. We create everything in our own mind, and I'm a lot better than I was back then when things don't work out for me. I'm not as affected. So bad things are awesome. Good things are awesome. Like when you go on stage, like if I have a bad set, awesome. If I have a good set, awesome. I heard someone say this recently, everything is a yes. You know what I mean? Just everything is a yes. You know what I mean? A good thing is a yes. A bad thing is a yes. And I didn't have that kind of, even when I did Pauly Shore's Dead, I mean, talk about taking it really personal. Talk about taking the drop really personal. I mean, I'm going to do a movie about me faking my death to become famous again. You know what I mean?
Is that why you did that?
Yeah. Yeah, that movie was very emotional for me. Because I had had the biggest managers, the biggest agents. I had all these things, and when my sitcom didn't work and my movies weren't working, instead of just taking a break and saying, "Hey, I'm just going to take a break for a year," pat myself on the back and be like, "Hey, you had a great run. Like, chill." And it's like a stock; it'll come back. And I fired everyone. You know what I mean? And then when I tried to get more representatives, like no one would represent me. And it was just like, and then I felt like, oh my God, what did I do? You know what I mean? What did I do? And that's when I was so sad. And I went into group therapy for a while, to help kind of let go of all this hurt that I was going through, which is a whole other conversation. But I was going through a lot of sadness, where I put myself in a place based off of my decisions in my career where, I was kind of not wanted. So I had the money, and I said, like, I write the script with Kirk Fox, Pauly Shore's Dead. And it was the beginning part of the second part of my career, because this was like the early 2000s. And I directed it, and I financed it, and I, asked all these favors. And it was funny, like, when I did it, no one would be in it. I mean, I got, like, Todd Bridges and Dustin Diamond and all these kind of, because it was making fun of people's careers and shit. And then I did a Hail Mary, and I called Sean Penn.
He did it.
And he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just turned the whole movie around. And then all of a sudden Dr. Dre did it, and fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Sandler did it, and Fred Durst, and it turned into this thing that was from God and my heart. And to me, it's the best thing that I've ever done. Pauly Shore's Dead is I don't want to call it a masterpiece, but fuck, you got to see it. It's very dark.
I have to see it.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious, dude.
Is it a script or is it a documentary?
No, it's a feature.
Well, not documentary.
No, it's a feature.
But it was scripted.
It's all scripted, yeah, but it's all fake. It's all, like, not real.
Well, because you're not dead.
Yeah, I am not? Okay.
But wait, you Sean.
Yeah.
And he agreed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he did it, everyone did it.
Mm-hmm.
But wait a minute. You think it's the best thing you ever did?
I think so.
Did you put it in festivals?
I did.
And?
Yeah, we went up to Sundance with it, and yeah, it did really well. We sold it to 20th Century Fox, and it did well. I mean, it did well for me. Yeah.
So it was like the ending of your persona.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I had the Ghost of Sam Kinison come out. You haven't seen it, huh?
No,
it's fucking.
I know it was big because I remember it
yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah.
I seen clips of it because I remember Sean Penn was in it.
And then also Charlie Sheen's in it. He's at the top, and it's dark. It's dark, but it's also silly too. But it's not sad. You don't watch it going, I feel sorry for this guy. It's not like that. It's like you're laughing. It was hard. It was hard to make.
It was hard to make because you really went through
the tone. Also trying to find a tone as a director and the person that wrote it, that appealed to my audience, but also appealed to people that didn't like me, the critics. And so that's why the critics liked it, because he's like, oh, he's making fun of himself.
Did you get hot off that movie?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I started doing a whole bunch of Showtime stuff after that. But yeah, it was cool. It was a fun,
I remember it because it was big. It made like a pop culture splash.
Yeah, and it was a Blockbuster. It was before Blockbuster ended. So it was like big on DVD and all that shit. And it was cool. And I screened it at the Comedy Store, which was fun. And yeah, it was cool. How's the Justin movie with you and Harlan? What is it called?
Wingman.
Yeah, Wingman.
It's great.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
We're trying to get it released.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's a different world now. Netflix is about to buy Warner Brothers. Dude,
I know.
I want to ask you about the store. Do you know I'm in the store, I think, because of you? I think that you passed me because I would go in and, no offense, your mom never said anything to me. I would audition, but
Did you really audition for her? But did you audition for her towards the end? Like, when she was
I think
sick?
so.
Yeah.
Probably.
But she had other things on her mind.
No,
I
I
think.
know.
Yeah.
She was so busy. But I would audition, and then Wheels.
Wheels, yeah.
Wheels was so nice to me. And Chewy. It was more Chewy.
Yeah, yeah.
Chewy was like, keep trying and stuff. And then I started getting Stan Lathan, who's the man. He liked me. And so he started getting me Please Allows.
Please what?
This is you. You should know this.
Please Allows?
Please Allow. You know what Please Allow is? It's your club. Please Allow is the lineup in the OR, and it says, please allow Jamie Kennedy 5 minutes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So this was in 94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I got like 5 minutes to like showcase for people.
Okay.
I got a pilot with Stan, okay, who probably just directed the latest Chappelle, but he directs everything. And then I got busy. So, it was different then. Once you started acting was, you weren't doing spots and stuff. I wasn't really. I would do colleges sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to do my show. I saw you in Vegas, and you go, come and do the store anytime you want. So then we did a bit with me, you, and we did jokes on everybody, and Holtzman was one of our marks.
Yeah.
And it was a Saudi Arabian prince, and it was like, what would you do to be his private comedian? And if people would kiss his feet. Now, I don't know.
Funny.
I don't know if Holtzman.
Bit.
I don't think Holtzman kissed his feet. I think he held his his own. But it was great. You were in it, and it was hilarious. You were hilarious. And I don't know. And then I went by the store 2 years later. My name was on the wall.
Oh, great!
So thank
so
you.
do you do the?
Oh, don't take it off.
You do Greg's show a lot though, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go in and just do spots, but I'll do sometimes when I'm there, I'll do that, and I'll go up to the belly room and go back and forth. But when I'm in town, I love to go there.
Cool, perfect.
I mean, it's the best. But it's just I want to thank you. I think you did it.
Well, you're great.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, you're great. Also, you're a great actor too.
Thank you, buddy.
I mean, the Leo movie was huge.
Huge, Romeo and Juliet.
I mean, huge.
He was amazing.
I mean, but you were great in that. So, are you a trained actor too, right? You must be some sort of trained, right?
I'll tell you what I did.
Because for you to pull that off.
Here's what's crazy, dude. You don't even know how much our worlds. You believe in Matrix shit?
Yeah.
Our worlds are combined. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole, so stay with me. Okay. I didn't really train, but I did. I took Meisner. And so there was a school called the Joanne Barron. Is it Joanne Barron? I forget.
Acting.
Yeah, whatever. And so, but it's a 2-year program.
Oh, wow.
And so you know what Meisner is?
Yes.
Okay. It's like your hands on your head, and then you say,
I don't know.
my hands on my head. It's all about repeating.
Okay.
And you're learning about what people are. And really good acting is
reacting,
looking,
okay,
and waiting. It's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
So, and then you naturally react. And you forget the lines.
Yes.
So yes, I did.
Acting is reacting.
100%.
Yeah, the most important part about acting is listening.
100%.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years, and that was just a deep, gritty method.
Oh.
And I was doing open mics.
Mm.
Scott LaRose was in my class for 6 weeks. Remember him?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Very funny
He
comic.
was funny. Yeah.
Then I went over to England, and I got accepted in a program,
Wow.
and I did Shakespeare for 5 weeks in a program. Now, and I got to do, like, put on scenes and stuff, and there was Judy.
Did you learn that Shakespeare stuff?
Yes.
That's
And I went
crazy.
there, and there was...
Let me hear you do a little Shakespeare now.
What do you want to know?
I don't know, dude. I wouldn't know where to begin.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? Now you say.
I did not bite. Yes, I bite my thumb at you, sir.
No, you say, I bite my thumb, but I do not bite my thumb at you, sir.
I bite my thumb, but I do not bite my thumb at you, sir.
And then I say, but do you bite your thumb, sir? This is actually the reverse of what I did. You're being me and I'm being Tybalt, or Tybalt's countryman. And then I say, is the law of our side if I say I? Do you know what that means?
No.
Will the cops protect us if I say yes?
Okay.
Is the law of our side if I say I?
Okay.
And then I say, no, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir. And that meaning I'm not biting at you, but I bite it.
Mm.
And then the other guy says, do you quarrel, sir?
Mm.
That means you want to battle. And I go, quarrel, sir. And I serve just as good as man as you, meaning Leo was my boss. And then he says, did you say better? And I say, better. And then it's a fight. Does that make sense?
Mm.
You bailed out of that scene, Pauly.
It's
it's simple, but it isn't. So you learn these words.
Slow down on that shit. Fuck.
You asked.
I would have to learn that.
But here's what I want to tell you. Listen, dude. I do it, and there was a show called Kate and Allie or Kate and something, or My Sister Sam.
Mm.
And I'm one of the actors I recognize who was in the next group above me. I was in the beginning group. And I'm like, I seen that guy on My Sister Sam. And it was Paul Rudd. So he was over there in this program, right? So this was summer 93, 94.
Wow, that's awesome.
So wait, so then, long story boring, I come out, I'm homeless, I'm broke, all this stuff, I learn this stuff, and I start my grind. And I'm doing potluck, okay? This is when potluck was, am I crazy to say this? I want to say this shit went till 4 a.m. Am I crazy to say that?
It went pretty late.
Like in the early to mid 90s, the store would be fucking 3 a.m. jamming. Am I crazy to say that?
Yeah.
It went past 2 a.m. and it was fucking gangster. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And so I go in, I'm trying to do these auditions. Long story boring. After all this stuff, after a year, I have a development deal with MTV, Lisa Berger. And then I get an audition for SNL. I go all the way to New York, do the whole testing and all this.
You're perfect for that.
Thank you, buddy. Tested. A long story, but I didn't get it. Boom. I come back because I was all hype. And I said, what am I going to do? And it was on a Monday night. And I said, I guess I'll sign up at Potluck again. So I went right from SNL and signed up again at Potluck. And I started doing Potluck again.
Wow.
And then, but somehow through that, I got a commercial agent. I got one little commercial, and things started happening. And I got an MTV tape off a pilot that didn't go anywhere. And that tape, like you said, helps. But what I'm saying is, the store, even though I performed at the Improv more, has a lot of lineage with certain jobs that I've gotten.
Right.
Like I would showcase there.
Well, you got to come there now more.
Well, I do this. I just go and people text me and they go, "Hey, you want to do this show?" And I go, "Yeah, if I'm in town." But
you're a regular, right?
I am.
So then you should go just sign in. I'm there all week. I just text in on Monday. And I'm like, "Hey, I want to play da da da," and they just stick me in.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing.
So yeah,
who's the woman doing it now?
Rose.
Okay.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I get emails. So I'll just hit her
go
back.
Up there and just do 15-minute spots. Fuck around.
I love it, dude. It's.
And what about Comic-Cons?
I did the greatest thing, dude. I'm destroying. It's
They're
incredible.
fun, right?
Dude, they're a gift from God.
Really?
Bro, the money?
Yeah.
Come on. Bro.
You like it?
What's not to like?
Yeah.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think that women in comedy. Isn't it wild how many beautiful women are doing comedy now? Dude, he's gonna be scared to answer that.
No, I just think it's the way our business is. I think that, everyone is doing a podcast, everyone is doing stand-up, everyone is on Instagram. It's kind of like you want to get into show business, you got to do everything.
I know, but when I started, I remember like 3 like cute women, and now there's like a ton.
Well, yeah, but most of them don't have jokes.
Wait!
No, they don't. They just kind of like babble and talk about whatever, and then they focus their camera on the crowd work, and they do that, and they think they're funny with that. And
bro, you're gonna catch shit for saying that.
Okay.
I like that. So wait.
I mean, some of them are funny, but most of them aren't. I mean, it's hard. Comedy's hard.
Yeah, would you say men too, though? There's men that aren't
of course.
Funny. Now, hold on. What do you think about how crowd work, which I think is one of the 7 staples of comedy, has kind of become the mainstay of a lot of comedy right now? It was just one of the 7 things I think you have to do as a comedian, but now it's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, you have to go, I guess, where the clicks are, and I guess people, I don't want to say, did Matt start it? He started making it big.
I think Matt made it huge, but it was been around before Matt.
Yeah.
But I think he blew up off of it.
Yeah.
But he was grinding. People don't realize he was doing it for 12 years. He was doing comedy for 12 years. It's like he really put his time in.
Yeah. He's doing great. Yeah.
I'm setting records at arenas.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to play the moon.
No.
So,
it's
but
remarkable.
I see crowd work everywhere now.
Yeah.
And it was something
We're doing some right here. We're doing crowd work. I did some with Kyle.
You did.
In the other room.
You did.
No, but I don't know. It's, you hear that story, you got to go where the cheese is. Where you got to, life changes, stuff changes. You either got to hop on it or you're not going to hop on it. So, Rick Ingraham is the king of crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the man.
Mm-hmm. But no one knows that.
Yeah.
Outside the store, he is.
Yeah, he's
no one the man.
Yeah, no one's better than him.
He's the man
on crowd work.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of I mean, for me, I don't work strategically. I just kind of work. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna do 50% crowd work and 25%. Someone starts yelling shit out, then guess what happens?
You're gonna deal with it.
The crowd work starts.
Yeah.
But I'm not like purposely going in to do crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
So I just kind of go into my shit and then see what happens.
But the business has changed so much, dude. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you're talking about your role and stuff, but this is the business now. If you're popular, it doesn't matter. You can get what you want. You know that. If you blow up and get, I don't know, you probably already have close to 1 million followers. And if you're blowing up on Facebook, don't you think the internet, if you get hot off of that, because you already are established in legacy media, that you can then get hot in Hollywood again? Hollywood's changing.
Absolutely.
It's totally different.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not the same at all, dude.
Yeah.
What I love about you is you're like, I want this role. You really, really want to show the world what you can do. And I think you've shown them so much, but it's good to grow.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like acting. It's challenging.
Because I had one more question. I thought I forgot.
What was the question?
I can't. My phone died.
What about the stretch lab?
I love. Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
So
it's fucking weird, right? That we all suddenly see each other there. Chris, right?
Yeah, he's the man.
Chris is our guy. Yeah.
So how weird is this to the audience? I go to a place called Stretch Lab, dude. I've been doing it. It's changed my whole body. I feel so good.
I can see you're erect.
I try to stay erect.
Yeah.
And I heard Chris goes, "Okay, Pauly, I'll be there in 3."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how many Paulys are here? And then I'm done, and I look up, and it's Pauly.
Yeah.
And it's great at that time of day because no one goes. I like it quiet.
Yeah.
And so here's what's funny. So I go, you're sitting there, and I go over, and what did I do? I put my arm around you. And what did you do?
I said, get off me, bro. Not cool.
Yeah, you freaked out.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's like PTSD.
I put my arm around you, and you got weird.
Yeah.
Why? Do you think I'm going to hurt you?
Yeah.
Why am I going to hurt you?
I got beat up a lot as a kid.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
But I would never hurt you.
That's true.
I hugged you.
Yeah, I
And then you went, but I wanted to let you know that I can hug you.
Okay.
But you have to approve it.
Yeah.
But you really didn't want my hug.
I was a little nervous.
Yes, but you probably didn't know it was me.
That's true.
But then when you knew it was me,
Then we were cool.
but you don't. Do you like to be touched?
Not by dudes.
I just put my arm around you. But dude, you got jerked off.
Yeah, but that was when I was sleeping.
I know. I put my arm around you, and you went, yo. And then you didn't know it
I
was
didn't
me.
know. Yeah, I got.
Then once you knew it was me, you're a little bit.
Yeah.
But then a small Asian man, you wake up with your dick in his hand.
Yeah.
And what do?
I just said, hey, you know what? It's cool. Let's go. And he did it.
Pauly, you've never been married?
I was engaged once.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And would you ever get married?
I don't think of that.
I know, I don't either. I know.
I think about a best friend.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Buster's my best friend. My dog is my best friend. So I'd be totally down to have a girlfriend that's a best friend. And then if the marriage thing is on the horizon, then yes. But I'm like, I got to get married. You know what I mean? It's almost like, look at Gene Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
He's been with his girl for years.
He's married.
But I do want a baby.
How old are you?
I am 57.
You want to do it? Does your brother Scotty have one?
No.
So you're going to have a baby at 57?
Yes.
Scotty's older than you, right?
Yes. You know who just had a baby at 74?
Al Pacino.
Yakov Smirnoff.
First time?
No, he's had kids, but he has an infant. I just played Sarasota. You played that room, McCurdy's?
The best.
So good.
You played it with Yakov?
No, he was there. I did his podcast. And
he
then
lives there?
Well, he was staying out there.
And
he's
had
just got an infant named Jonah.
How old's his wife?
40.
I mean,
He met her in Ukraine.
Okay.
His story's crazy, dude.
I don't know enough about it. I just know that he was a legend.
Mm-hmm.
So he just had a baby.
Yeah, an infant.
I mean, that's not weird to me because he's had kids. Your first kid at 74 is pretty intense.
That's true.
So you want to have a kid. But then that's going to be a lot of work.
So is my dog. My dog becomes first for me.
Not after
my dog is my heart.
Okay, but
I love my dog.
I know you do, but then if you have a kid, then it has to be the kid too.
That's what I'm saying.
And when
my dog Buster's the first time that I've put someone first before me.
Someone, you mean the dog?
Yeah. I'm always thinking of my dog.
Okay.
He's my best friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Your dog is your best friend?
I think so.
Wow.
I got friends, but I think he's my best friend.
Wow.
I take him on the plane with me, and I take him on the road with me.
He's big.
He's like 50, 60 pounds.
Oh, he's big, dude.
Okay.
He's going to get bigger.
No, he's not.
So wait, you put him on the plane and put him in a little cubby?
No, he just sits on the floor.
In a little cubby?
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
He seems very well behaved.
Yeah.
I want to say this before I let you go. I appreciate you, bro. MTV today, I think they were announced that it's officially closing, which I would think that you would have some kind of effect from that, but you might not, but you should. MTV, you are one of the staples of it. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, I think, it lost its way after TRL. After TRL was finished, I think that's when it lost its way. Because TRL was like the last, I think, show that represented music videos.
Yes.
And I think after TRL, there was just like reality shows and, my wife is pregnant and all that shit.
But they were great shows. But as one of the staples, it's just crazy that it's gone. You have to feel a little bit sad. And TRL, I got to guest host that when Carson wasn't there, and that was one of the greatest thrills of my life.
It was great.
I mean, going to New York and doing that. And what I wanted to say is the after party of the MTV Awards would be, Ron Burkle's house. Everybody in town would be at this party.
Yeah.
And whether you were skateboarder. You would see Shaun White. You'd see a comedian. You see Leo. You see, Diddy. People don't want to say that, but he was everywhere.
Yeah.
You see supermodels. You see bankers.
Yeah, well, that's what was so great about MTV is you had the heavy metal, you had the hip hop, you had the rap, the rap. You
Demi Moore.
Yeah, you had the MTV Awards. You had I don't know. It was all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a melting pot for different races, and it was where everyone came
Races,
together.
creed, gay, straight. Everyone knew, but no one cared. It wasn't a thing. It was just that's what you did.
Yeah.
Buddy, I love you.
This was cool.
Did you have? I really appreciate you coming, man.
Give me a hug.
How do you get weird about
Don't touch me,
it,
bro? Don't touch me, bro. No, it's cool. We're good.
How do you want to tell anybody your dates or anything?
Yeah. We got Random Rants, which is my own podcast by myself with my dog Buster. He's on it.
Bust Dizzle.
Yeah, which is cool. And then we got my one-man show.
The one-man show you perform and stick to the dancing.
Yeah, stick to the dancing, yeah.
And you perform that all over America or just in town?
I haven't done it lately, but it's there. It's in the ether. And then my Instagram is just Pauly Shore, and my social media, it's all out there.
Watch my man. Dude.
Later, dudes. We'll see you at Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone's talking, they're blockers. That's not why I came to Hollywood. Fucking backwards. Bullshit.
I hate to break it to you.